Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here. I hope everyone is well. And you know what? If we're feeling a little under the weather or not quite where we want to be emotionally, physically, spiritually, guess what? We're going to get there. Just tell yourself, this is it. I'm getting there. All right. The audio is I'm using my internal. I'm using the internal microphone in my phone. I record on my phone, and so you may have to turn the sound up a little bit. If you stream it through your TV, definitely you got to blare it. I am going to pick up yet my fourth microphone, external. This time I had to invest a little bit more and not get the really cheap, crappy ones. So hopefully we won't have any more audio mishaps. Having said that, I am going to make another video as soon as I know the microphone works with a list of holistic different modalities and types of practices. I had a question about that, well, indirectly, but and I'm going to talk about some of the resources and people and books I have read and utilized. Not a ton, but I'm going to focus on that entirely for a video that won't be too terribly long. Some of the people I will reference I know, some of them I don't. And some of them have books you can buy on Amazon. I will also give you websites. I'll let you know who does distance, whatever it is that they practice, and if anything is in person. So I'm still waiting to hear back from a couple of them to make sure it's okay to give them the shout out and the nod, and to list the website. So it's all very exciting. I'm really excited about that coming video. So anyway, I believe that when we meet people that we feel good about or have practices that we feel good about, it's good to share. All right, there's enough for everybody. Oh, that's a big message for today. There's enough for everyone. Okay, all right. I'm going to jump right in. I forgot I had these. I found them in a cabinet when I was looking for a book. And it is Sandra Ann Klinger and Sandra Ann Taylor, who worked jointly together to create the Akashic Tarot. And that is what it looks like. And again, I cut these cards down so they're a little smaller. They're still big, but they were even bigger. But they're beautiful. This is a really unusual deck to use, and if you don't have to know how to read Akashic records, but that's one of the things I'm going to put on my list, okay? It is very different information from a psychic read, and you don't have to have any psychic abilities to really tap into it, according to the class I have taken, which was an excellent class. I definitely can't help but have interjecting psychic information coming in, but I can feel the difference, and I can tell where the information is coming from, which side of my head the information is coming in through. And I always in the past when I was doing public readings, I would let people know this is psychic information that I'm tapping into energetically. This is Akashic record information, and I'll get into all that in the next video. But anyway, so these are the Akashic Tarot, and even though in her book she does the upright and the upside down versions, or inverted, she has different versions and meanings. I just kind of read everything upright because I need to make things easy peasy for me. So, oh, they said enough. All right. I have no idea where we're going today other than just a minute ago. There's enough for everyone. So let's see. What is the message for the collective? Spirit guides, guardians, the protectorate, Mother, Father, God, come into this reading. What is the message you have for the collective today? What is the message that you have for us today? And I was thinking going into the weekend, what is the message you have for us? All right. This one is wanting me to look at it. All right. Now, let us take a look and see what we've got. I think it all looks pretty good on the surface. Let's see what Spirits has to say. Oh, and someone said they watched the rest of my video where the sound completely cut out midway through, right after the Ezekiel channel, which I also thought was interesting. Yeah, I had a really crappy microphone, but I still think it's interesting that that's when it stopped, as soon as he finished his channel. And my friend Corinne was like, mic drop by Archangel Ezekiel. I just think that's hysterical, and I kind of think she's right. Someone else mentioned something similar too, but anyway. So, oh yeah, but somebody mentioned they finished watching the video without sound, just because I tend to be very, well, I'm going to interpret animated, animated kind of silliness. I do. I'm not offended at all. It's so true. I can be kind of hard and directed and focused, and trust me, in a work situation that's away from all the, I can definitely go there. But in my just regular day-to-day life, I'm kind of, what you see is what you get. So, and that's another lesson. Everybody, be who you are, step into your truth, and be who you are all the time. I'm trying to relax in work situations a little bit more, but it's really hard when you've got people relying on you, or you're trying to get information and blah, blah, blah. We get it. Okay, so what do we have here? The collective message. Spirit, help me understand what's going on and what you want me to see and know and understand and communicate based on what I'm looking at with these cards. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Four of Forces. So the time frame is spring/autumn. Okay, spring is always denoted as a time of growth, and autumn as a time of harvesting the seeds we planted. What I'm hearing is, and this isn't going to be for everybody. Remember, it's a general reading. Please watch the disclaimer video that I put out earlier today. Someone or a few people are going to have a radical change of life, and it's going to come in the spring. That would be that March, April, May period. And I think there's going to be communication that helps you understand. Communication is going to be important, not necessarily that you give. I still feel like we are, those of us watching, or the people who are receiving this, are kind of in a receptive mode. You've always been the one pushing out and being dynamic. I feel like there's a receptiveness to the energy of the person this is for, but once you get a communication, you're going to have to act and make decisions, okay? Based on the decisions you make, this will come to fruition in the fall. It's going to be an offer, a possible move. So I think it's going to be not as much work related as much in your personal life. It's going to, whatever this is you're deciding, is going to make a massive difference in your personal life. But I almost feel like there's a move involved. But that wouldn't be until November. Okay, next card. All right, this is card number 20. That number's jumping out at me for some reason. What do I need to know about 20? 20 days. I think this is also giving a time frame. 20 days. I don't know. Just put a little check mark on your calendar on your phone and see what happens in 20 days. See what happens. Okay. Will, wisdom, and mind. It's going back to making a decision. Someone's making a decision. There's a group of people. And now this isn't connected to, it's connected in a way to be the last card, but I feel like this is people making a decision in groups, like in clusters, that will affect the larger mass of people, but also on a personal level. Oh, someone's making big life-changing decisions about whether to come in with, this is kind of connected, I think, to the first card. Someone right now is trying to deliberate and debate within themselves about how to approach a situation. sit back and let it happen. Let them go through their paces. Let them go through whatever it is they need to go through. You're going to gain clarity pretty soon. Start getting your ducks in a row. Okay. Well, okay, the message I'm getting is that for the group of people I'm thinking of who are on the receptive end of this energy, and you'll know because normally you'd be very proactive, but you're hesitating before jumping in or doing or saying something, then you're on the receptive end of this event. And it does feel it's on a personal level, not a professional level. But someone is in the process of making a big all right, this is a phrase that's coming into my head. Don't see it as anything to do with Christianity. I have got so much in my history. Just throw a dart and it's in my family. But the phrase, the come to Jesus moment, that's just kind of a Southern thing. But it's when, come to your higher power moment, come to your higher self moment, if you want to do that instead. But it's one of those things where the stuff's going to get real, and you better be ready for it. Time to make a decision. So that being the case, make sure you are in order. Get yourself in order. Now that doesn't mean you have to make radical changes in the next 20 days. What that means, or overnight, but what that means is think about your mindset. Think about what it is you really want. Think about what it is that will bring you the greatest happiness and the direction you want your life to take. All you got to do is make the decision. And you can change your mind, but just think about what seeds you would like to see grow and experience. Because everything is always fluid throughout our lives, okay? Things can change on a dime. They can turn on a dime. So that's what this is saying. Focus on what you want. And if I'm good at lists and making lists because it helps me focus, and that helps with my manifestation process in terms of, and also my healing process. Make a list out of it. Okay. All right. If that helps you, you don't have to do anything. You got free will. All right. 3 of Roses, loving elementals. This is simply an ask for help card when you need it. Call on your guides, your guardians, the protectorate. Again, you don't have to know them. I'm not going to exaggerate, but there are a lot. I'll put it that way. There are a lot of videos on YouTube with guided meditations for, meet your spirit guides, find your life purpose, whatever. So, just find one that resonates with you, that you like, and listen to a guided meditation and try to follow it along. Okay? And that's a good place to start with meditation. And that is always my number one recommendation and suggestion. Start a meditative practice. Okay? And I prefer guided meditations to start because it helps control the direction of it and gets rid of the busy brain monkey mind, And if you do jump out for a minute, just go right back in. If you fall asleep, that's okay too. But listen to the whole thing when you're up and moving around so you know it's one you trust and like. That's just a recommendation. 3 of Roses. Okay, roses I've talked about. Roses, rose essential oil, all of those things are purifying. Rose quartz is a good stone, or any kind of pinkish stone, whether it's a different, like a pink mangano, or like this is just a pink candle I found at the grocery store, and I sprinkled some salt in it and like a little rose essence oil and stuff, and it's just cleansing, purifying, and it feels good. Call on nature healing. I like to always have a motivational mug in the morning, and this was my mug for today, and my thought was nature healing. So today, as soon as I finish with a bunch of work stuff later, in the evening and this weekend, I am dedicating to self-care because I'm not focusing on my own care very well. So I'm feeling the effects of that. So it is a self-care evening and weekend for me. And a lot of that will revolve around nature. Okay, I'm hearing running water is good for someone. So even if it's just like a little tiny tabletop fountain, or just even a YouTube video with of a waterfall or a creek, something like that, leave it on. If you can't get outside, if it's cold where you are, I feel like water healing is going to be really important and really good for someone. Excuse me just a moment. Thank you. Okay. Oh, and look, the next one. 2 of roses. Winged messengers. Again, elemental energy. Pay attention. What I'm hearing. Pay attention to the nudges from spirit. Pay attention to the guidance you're getting. And also, the image I'm seeing is it's okay to stand still for a moment and look at what's happening around you. For me, my moment of peace and stillness is when I stop, I notice nature, I look up, and there's always like a bird friend, a bird ally that's just hovering and circling around. Okay? We have all kinds of guides, and sometimes they communicate through the animal kingdom. There is a message coming in for someone. There's a message coming in for a group of you. They want you to pause, relax, reflect, and listen. It may come in the form of synchronicities, just signs. It's time to get back to the core of who we are and our basics, because I have a feeling things are going to ramp up, and decisions about our lives and our direction and what we want will change fairly quickly. Okay. All right, and this is the one that was not part of this, but just kind of was sticking out sideways from the deck. So I thought, okay, let me take a look at this. So this is your actual, what I just said was the actual reading for the collective from these cards. And it's beautiful and it's lovely. And it's just telling everybody, take a deep breath. You've got it. You've got this. Just take a deep breath. Remember who you are. Feel your connection to spirit. Let healing energy from nature come in and soothe you and comfort you. Something about the sound of running water is important. But focus on all the elements, in particular air and water. Okay, seem to come out really significantly in this one. Now, this I think is sort of the shadow that we need to be careful of. And it's a card that's called Caught in the Ruins. And again, this is just my interpretation and what Spirit's feeding me and telling me psychically, okay? So I'm not using these cards necessarily the way it's prescribed in the book that came with them. I just do what I do, and that's okay. But they're beautiful and they're meaningful cards. So, caught in the ruins, and they are sitting in a stone wall, but with no ceiling, no roof. They could climb out if they really wanted to. They could open that door and walk out. They could still stop and look up, take a moment and reflect, but they are caught in their heads. That's what that tells me. Is there anything else I need to see in this? Don't waste time being caught up in your own fears. I know that's a little harsh, and there's that part of me that wants to say, well, everything is for a reason. There's no real waste of time. Well, Spirit's saying, yeah, well, when it comes to fear, stop wasting your time being stuck in fear. So I guess we can lose a lot of time. I lost an entire decade of my life just going on autopilot and doing nothing but working 2 jobs. So, was in tune, was tapped in, but I was living for a cause and other things, and I never took care of myself. So and a lot of that was just giving up in pain and fear. So it wasn't wasted time in that it was a huge dark night of the soul and learning experience for me. But at the same time, now that I'm in my approaching late 50s, yeah, I kind of feel like I wasted some of the really good years of my life being, not taking care of myself. But then again, I wouldn't be who I am with the knowledge I have if I hadn't had that decade-long dark night of the soul. But at some point, Spirit says, you got to come out of the cage. The self-imposed fear. Now, I'm not talking about if you're in a dangerous or violent situation. Please get help. Please. I've been there too. When I was very, very young and married to a very violent man. But I got out. I made a plan. I was careful about it, and I got out. And I've never been in a situation like that again. So, understand, sometimes the fear of things can motivate us, and my ears are popping wide open, so I know that this is where they want me to go in the last couple of minutes of this video. Fear, jealousy, anger, all of those uncomfortable feelings, they can be the things that make us stop and reflect and say, I don't like this feeling. Why am I feeling this way? And if it's obvious why you're feeling that way, like in the violent situation, get help. Once I got out of that situation, then I had to stop and say, well, how did I get into it? What am I supposed to learn? And so in my 20s, I put myself in counseling to learn better coping skills and to help correct some of the damage that I grew up with so that I wouldn't make that mistake again. Take care of yourselves. And for those of you who are working so hard, I'm so proud of you. And those of you who are just starting to realize, I think I deserve better in my life, and I should expect more from myself if I want anyone else to treat me better. You have to love yourself first, right where you are. Okay? All right. So get those seeds planted in your life that you want. If you want, make a list of the things you want to see happen in your life. And that could be in general terms or as specific as you want to make it. It's up to you. You don't have to make a list at all. But I do feel like this is the time to lean into spirit and lean into your own soul. Get to know who you really and truly are. Because I have a distinct feeling something's coming in soon. It feels good though. Trust your own gut with that. It's not going to be the same for everyone. I still feel like there's a lot of movement involved. Whether, again, I'm just going to leave it at movement. So the more grounded and centered and self-aware you are and connected to yourself and to spirit and your own personal guides and guardians, the better you will be able to make a decision that is for your best and highest good. Please hear that. Best and highest good. And when you ask on your spirit team for help and give over situations to them to take care of and fix, always say with the best and highest good. Just a tip. You don't have to do a thing. All right. Okay, I love those perfect souls out there. Be well. And I'm still working on the list for the holistic modalities that you can look into. It's always good to just do your homework. Okay. All right. Love you all. Have a good Friday and a good weekend. And I will be back tomorrow, hopefully with a working microphone. Woohoo! Okay. And I would like to start doing shorts. And the first short I want to do after I have a working microphone is just a short energy retrieval. So all you have to do is go to that, boom. You don't have to dig around for it. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good day.